Bula and Namaste viewers. This is the third and last video in the first, second, and third person video set. If you haven't seen the first two yet, please do check them out. Let's get started with how we say he, she, it, and they in Hindi. All four of these pronouns translate to ye or wo in Hindi. Now, if you recollect from a previous video, I had defined that ye means this and wo means that. So where and how does the gender come in? How the verb ends will disclose to us if the person we are referring to in the sentence identifies as masculine or feminine. It is time for an example. So if in English we are saying he is drinking water, in Hindi we would say ye pani pi raha hai if the person is close to us in proximity. And if they are further in proximity, we would say wo pani pi raha hai. So wo is he, pani is water, pi means to drink, pi raha is drinking, and hai is. So wo pani pi raha hai or ye pani pi raha hai. Now, in contrast, if we want to say she is drinking water, instead of saying raha, we would say rahi. So if this person is in close proximity, we would say ye pani pi rahi hai. And if this person is further in proximity, wo pani pi rahi hai. If in English we are saying it is drinking water, say in the case of seeing an animal drinking water, we would use either of the previous endings depending on whether we are defining the subject of the sentence as singular masculine or singular feminine. So a versus e. Now the last example here is for they. If in English we are saying they are drinking water, in Hindi we would say wo pani pi rahe hai. So now to denote plural, the ending of the verb changes to e. Now let's work in the Fiji Hindi. In Fiji Hindi, if you are saying he, she, it, or they, no worry of gender. If you are referring to a singular subject, we use u. And if you are referring to a plural subject, we say oolong. Similar to oolong, but not oolong. Oolong. U is derived from the Hindi word wo, which is also commonly spoken as vo. So the W and the V can be interchangeable. And this is actually common with various words that start with V and W. Long is derived from the Hindi word log, which means people. Let's move on to him, her, and them. If we are stating something in present tense, the word we typically use in Hindi for him or her is uske. So if in English we are saying this water is for him or for her, in Hindi we would say ye pani uske liye hai. There is no gender identification in the spoken words in this case. If we are stating something in past or future tense, the word we typically use in Hindi for him or her is use. For example, what happened to him or what happened to her would be use kya hua in Hindi. Again, there is no gender identification in this case. Them is unke. If we say this water is for them in English, this translates to ye pani unke liye hai in Hindi. How does all this look and sound in Fiji Hindi? This water is for him or this water is for her becomes e pani uske khatir hai in Fiji Hindi. And this water is for them becomes e pani oolong ke khatir hai. So far, we have talked about personal pronouns. The possessive pronouns are his, hers, its, and their or theirs. The Hindi term for his, hers, or its is uska or uski. In this case, though, the endings of a and e are not dependent on the person being referred to in the sentence, but rather the noun of the sentence. And nouns in Hindi hold either masculinity or femininity. Using water as an example, which is a masculine noun, this is his water or this is her water would be ye uska pani hai in Hindi. Using cat as an example, which is a feminine noun, this is his cat or this is her cat would be ye uski billi hai in Hindi. The Hindi word for there is unka or unki. With reference to the previous examples, you would replace uska or uski with unka or unki. Ye unka pani hai, ye unki billi hai. Now let me give you the Fiji Hindi versions of his, hers, and theirs, and we'll be done. In Fiji Hindi, we again remove gender specificity and use uske for his or hers. For there, we use oolong. So this is his water or this is her water becomes uske pani hai. And this is her cat or this is his cat becomes uske billi hai. This is their water or this is their cat becomes oolong ke pani hai or oolong ke billi hai. And that's a wrap. Kaise baat? Fiji baat.